You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast for our belated Christmas cricket quiz of the year. We'll be rounding up 2022 in style with a battle between Ross and Max. I'm Jack Hope. I will be quiz show host for tonight or this morning or this afternoon, whenever you listen to the podcast. And the two contestants are Ross. How you doing, Ross?
Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. I think I'm reigning champ, aren't I?
I believe you are reigning champ,
undisputed and undefeated, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. And Max, the loser, pauper Max.
Yeah.
How you doing down there, Max?
Looking forward to notching up another defeat.
That's the spirit. That is the spirit. Before we get into things, we haven't done a show for a couple of weeks, so there has been some cricket news. But before we even get to that, what are the messages, Max?
The messages are like and subscribe on YouTube. Click the buttons, particularly the thumbs up button to say you like us. That's a nice button. Follow us at the Cricket Pod, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias. And if you want to support us directly, go to Patreon, patreon.com/the Cricket Pod. We've got a few Patreon exclusive episodes to do, so we will be getting those out over the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And Ross is going on holiday. That's the other bit of news that everyone should be aware of. So have a nice time, Ross. Hope everyone wishes him a lovely travel.
He's going to South Africa. If we've got any South African listeners, get in touch. And Ross will buy you a castle, man.
I'll buy you a beer at Newlands. That's where I'm going. So I'm going for the opening game of the South Africa T20, I think, at Newlands. So for Mumbai, well, not Mumbai, so whatever they are, Cape Town Indians, Mumbai. What are they called? I don't know what they're called.
You should probably learn what they're called before you turn up.
Yeah,
Mumbai Indians.
I would
Cape
recommend
Town,
that.
maybe.
Are they Cape Town MI?
Yes.
Oh, could be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
Anyway,
all right. What's the cricket news, Ross?
what's the cricket news? There's all kinds of stuff happening. Shaquille today took 52 balls or something to get off the mark against New Zealand.
Ross, can we have the cricket news, please?
Cameron Green's broken his finger. That's not very good.
Yep.
That counts. That's news. Yep.
Yeah. So he was very, very expensive for no apparent reason.
How much is that finger worth? About 400 grand.
I'll tell you, in Aussie dollars, it was 3.15 million Aussie dollars. So that's pretty extreme. I'm trying to think what else has happened. Tim Southey's taken over the reins of Kane Williamson on the Test match side of things, and Babar Azam did quite a funny declaration against them, which means that Ben Stokes and the England team are living rent free in his head.
Isn't that series just utterly pointless though? Again, it's like
quite possibly.
There was a very funny run out in it today.
Okay, right.
Imam.
Yeah,
learning from the best. Spent a lot of time around Inzamam when he was young. Ran out Babar.
Babar Azam's been run out 6 times since he started his Test career, which is the joint most.
Ooh, someone's been swatting up for the quiz, haven't they?
Yeah, indeed.
The other big news, and we should mention it and wish him well, is Rishabh Pant in quite a horrific car accident by the looks of things. Lucky to get out of that one, alive. Quite frankly. I'm assuming we've all seen the pictures of the car incinerated afterwards. Currently recovering in hospital, and so we wish him well, don't we?
Yeah, it was a bit mad. The people who videoed him and were taking pictures of him, that was a bit much, I thought.
Don't want to help, just
video. Give us a little quote.
Cool. Right, should we just get on with the quiz?
Yeah.
Right, I need to get the quiz up. So while we're doing that, as usual, we start with the naming of the teams, the ceremonial naming of the teams. Ross, as champion, you get to name your quiz team of one first. What are you going to be called?
Oh, it's a tough one. Are we looking for a cricket pun? Are we looking for an insult?
Whatever you like, mate. Whatever you like.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Johnny Bairstow's Renaissance. That's what I'm going to be called.
Okay. It's not really a pun or a name that makes sense. So
it
could be an early point for Max. Max, what have you got?
Based on the number of points I'm intending to get in this quiz, I'm going to call myself Sam Curran's current account.
Oh, I think they're both rubbish.
There's a pun. There's a pun in there.
I'm gonna both just call you Max and Ross. But Max, you're gonna get an early point, so you're on the board early. with a marginally better terrible team name.
Yeah.
To start off this quiz, we're gonna begin with some summary questions. So we're gonna reflect on the year, talk about our favourite moments, etc. 3 questions, and you both get a chance to answer these. I will give you a point for the best answer and a point for the best reason why. Max, as chief summariser, you can go first for the first one.
Right.
Who was your player of 2022 and why?
My player of 2022. I know you're supposed to, I suppose, think about more than one format, aren't you, for this? And there are a number of potential.
No rules.
No rules. There are a number of candidates, aren't there? There's been some stellar years, the likes of Johnny Bairstow, the likes of Joe Root. Babarazin scored a hatful of runs. But my player for this year is a little-known, young, up-and-coming and rising star from Mumbai. Not many people have heard of him, but he's made a big name for himself this year, and it is Surya Kumar Yadav. He's across all formats scored. I think he's like the 8th highest run scorer in the year, but almost exclusively from 2020 cricket. He scored over 1,100 runs in T20 cricket this year at an average of about 47, at a strike rate of 180. It's ridiculous. Scored more T20 international runs than any other Indian player ever in a single calendar year. And what really clinches it for me is how he's finally turned the Anglo-centric commentatorati around to the fact that there is someone not from England who is the best T20 batter in the world. They still haven't worked out that he's 32 and therefore not the new block. But we're getting there. It's one step at a time. So Surya Kumar Yadav for me, for opening people's eyes to anyone who doesn't watch any of the IPL that he's really good, gets the nod for me.
It's a strong answer. Ross, what are you going to come back with?
It's the obvious answer, isn't it? Surya Kumar Yadav, and Max pandering to our Indian fans. Pathetic is the opening thing. We've got big boy Ben Stokes deserves a mention. Josh Buttler for an incredible IPL. Pat Cummins has also had a stellar year. Sky had a good year, sure. But as my team name determines, the artist previously known as Bairstow burst into life this year. He was reborn, a phoenix from the flames. He produced test match assaults that ignited England's aggressive renaissance. He played 10 test matches this year, scored 1,061 runs at a staggering average of 66 with a strike rate of 76. He notched up 6 centuries and 1 half century. That is a ridiculous turn from zero to Megadon, and that is why he deserves to be our player of 2022.
I think it's a really difficult one to call this. Max, you're currently 1 point up. I'm going to give you a point for the best reason. I think you thought that through. That was clever. Ross has sort of listed stats. But, you know, we are doing player of the year, and I feel like Ross's stats do come with some heavy weight. And also, you know, the Bairstow arc.
It's unbelievable.
I do love a redemption story.
It's good. So I'm going to give you a point each there. Well done. Okay. Bairstow's player of the year, but Surya Kumar Yadav has a better reason for being player of the year.
That is very cricket podcast. Do you reckon other people have a different view? Do you reckon someone would say like Babar Azam and we'd be like, wrong?
There's probably a few people out there. I bet there's quite a lot of people who'd say Stokes because he's a good captain and they don't really understand cricket. I'm not sure who anyone else.
Hardik Pandya,
I was going to say had a decent year.
Travis Head. Travis Head was all right.
Yeah,
Max doesn't know who he is though.
Forgettable year if you ask me.
Cummins was very good. I think you need to have a team accomplishment as well as an individual accolade to some extent.
Like Ballon d'Or type.
Yeah, a little. And I think Bairstow, because he was part of an England team that went from being crap to quite good and won a few series, and he was instrumental in those series wins, does have that in a way that, you know, as much as PayTM trophies aren't completely irrelevant, I don't weight them the same as a test series. And he didn't win the T20 World Cup and didn't win the IPL. So that's, you know, despite clearly being fucking good. Second on our list, what was your moment of 2022 and why? Ross, you get to go first this time.
So I thought long and hard about this. I enjoyed the start of the year with Bangladesh beating New Zealand, but then they completely fell off. And I was a bit like, do you know what? Is that really that brilliant? Quite possibly is. Tuatia for Gujarat Titans was always great fun. Quinton de Kock's 140 not out for Lucknow was also brilliant. But there surely is only one answer. He's an Indian. He is kind of the backbone of that side. He is a king in his own right. And I think you all know where I'm going with this. It is Jasprit Bumrah smashing Broad for a record in Test cricket. 35 off the over, 29 of those off the number 11's bat. King Bumrah, what other moment could there be? And I was sat watching it at Edgbaston, and the rest of the day got rained off. I got to watch him obliterate England's, I think it's the fourth highest wicket taker this year, Stuart Broad in Test match cricket, and he's got smashed to smithereens by Bumrah. Incredible.
That was a classic moment. Right, Max, you're under the gun here.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Can I just concede? All I've got, I'm afraid, for my moment of the year is England lifting the World Cup, because what it was all about the story. We like the story. You mentioned the redemption arc of Johnny Bairstow in your answer before, Ross, and we discussed it on the podcast. The various possible routes that the World Cup was going to take. Was it finally going to be India lifting a trophy? Were South Africa, who looked set fair to make it to the knockout stages, or only having to beat who was it?
Netherlands.
The Netherlands. That was it. They only had to beat the Netherlands to make it through to a semi-final where anything could happen, But no, they choked. So it wasn't the South Africa anti-bottle story. It wasn't India winning finally. So that left just one thing, surely, the Pakistan redemption arc, because they made it through at the very last minute. They were going to march on and potentially take the victory. We couldn't have...
Just like in 1992.
Yeah. And it was going to be the Pakistan-India final, where it was all set. It was what everything wanted. Everybody wanted. And then along came England and ruined it for everyone. Joss Butler and Alex Hales absolutely demolishing India in the semi-final. That was a moment in itself of just nonsense cricket. But just England coming up the outside, really, the outside of that race. Everyone was focused on those three runners in the middle, but they weren't watching the horse come up the outside and overtake everyone at the end. Disappoint everyone, but it's what we do.
Jack, there is one bit that I left Max an open goal there. And we can't go away from it. And because Sudeep and I lost a bet and I haven't cashed in on that bet, I left an open goal for Max to score with Virat Kohli's performance against Pakistan.
You did? Yeah.
That was
it. Chose not to score it.
It was insane.
I did think about doing Kohli scoring 100 as my moment of the year.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been a good one. Yeah.
But a specific moment was Virat Kohli's 6 off of Harish Ralph. That particular moment was ridiculous. Like watching that and the stadium erupting as a single moment was unbelievable.
Did you have your Kohli fact, by the way?
I'm not going to get it in now. I've teed it up. Okay. We're going to have it later on in the show.
We did that.
I forgot. Sorry.
That's a pretty tough one to score. I'm going to give you 1 point each again. This time, Ross had the best reason because he was there. I think watching things live is always better than watching them from far away. But England winning the World Cup was probably a better moment. Not as funny, but a better moment.
Sometimes you just got to play it straight down the line.
Yeah, exactly. Final team play for now. Top controversy of 2022 and why, Max?
There's only one possible controversy for me that beats all the others. And arguably the biggest, we wouldn't say the biggest because I don't think it's controversial. I don't think any of us think it's controversial, but it blew everything up, didn't it? Deepti Sharma's Mankad to win the final game of the series against England's women with Charlie Dean. England 9 wickets down and needing just another, was it 13 runs to win? Charlie Dean straying from her crease and Deepti Sharma doing the correct thing and running her out at the non-striker's end. But no, that's not good enough for the traditionalists and the old gammons, is it? It made people very, very angry because apparently something that's literally in the rules is just not cricket. And it was quite funny watching people lose their shit over it. In particular, it pissed off Piers Morgan. He tweeted about it, saying it was a pathetic way to win a game and the whole of India should be ashamed. That's classically nonsense from Piers Morgan, and anything that winds him up is good in my book. So that's my top controversy of 2022. And well played, Deepti. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's a good start. Do you remember the other Piers Morgan related controversy when he got really upset when he took a private jet to fly home or fly back to London to watch England play South Africa, but England won too fast. And, he complained about it. Ross.
Well, I think one of the biggest is India not playing Sanju Samson enough. That is one of my big ones. But I think the biggest controversy this year, it's tough because there was all the Delhi players getting really angry and running onto the pitch in the IPL. That was really funny.
That was
good. But I think the biggest controversy is it sits with Pakistan, and it's Pakistan's groundsman in particular. And it's at the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, where I think the biggest controversy happened this year. In a test match between Pakistan and Australia, the scores read out Pakistan 476 for 4 declared, Australia 459, and then Pakistan 252 for nothing. What was the point in playing those games? That game in particular, it was a ridicule of Test cricket, and especially as Pakistan had not had Test cricket in the country for so many years, Australia finally come to town, and the Rawalpindi bloke goes, "Do you know what? You're going to have concrete to play on. See you later, lads. I'm off on a holiday." A disgrace, as far as I'm concerned.
On the plus side, Ross, they at least learned from their mistakes for the later games in the year.
They did that, and that means select Imam ul Haq when he's playing at Rawalpindi Stadium, because he got 157 and 111 in this one. So incredible.
Oh, it's another tough one to call. I'm going to give both points to Max because he needs them. It would be more
that's fair. That is fair.
And that's going to be my entry for controversy of the year. That I have, maybe
Skewed.
Erroneously given Max extra points. There, fellas, we're going to get into the quiz part of the quiz. You'll be familiar with how this works. I'll ask you a question, one at a time. And you answer the question. You get a point if you win. If you get it wrong, the other player gets the chance to steal. We're going to run through the year, starting from early in the year and ending with later in the year. Yeah,
nice way of doing it.
Yeah,
that's logical.
We're going to start with a couple of pretty easy ones, a couple of throwdowns, if you like, to get your eye in for the more challenging stuff later on. Ross, you're going to go first as champion. And my question is, in 2022, which team lost 2 major finals, failed to win a test at home, and fired the CEO of their board?
Pakistan.
Well done, Ross. You're back within 2 points of Max there. It's 3-5. It is, of course, Pakistan. They lost the Asia Cup final. They lost the World Cup final. They failed to win a single test match at home, which was, fairly shocking, to be perfectly honest. And a couple of weeks ago, got rid of their CEO, Ramiz Raja, who had been nothing but a source of entertainment. And I'm very disappointed to see him leave.
Yeah, it is a shame.
Max, your throwdown. In 2022, which team broke the record for number of ODI runs scored in an innings? The record for number of test runs scored on the first day of a match, won the World Cup, reinvented test cricket, hired a genius as a director of cricket, hired 2 more geniuses as coaches for their red and white ball teams, etc., etc., etc.
It was, of course, the wonderful England, the boys.
Well done, Max. It's 6-3.
Hooray.
If people need to be playing along at home, we want to hear about you in the YouTube comments. Literally tell us how you're getting on and who your players.
Did you get that one right?
Even I couldn't get that wrong.
I was, I did think that there could be a situation where Ross was like 10-1 up or something like that. And so I thought I'd give you some confidence, but you're actually winning here, Max. You are actually winning. Right, much earlier in the year, the year kicks off with some fierce Test cricket being played between India and South Africa. In what would turn out to be Virat Kohli's final series as Test skipper, one of the matches descended into a farce after the Indian players started shouting into the stump mic when Dean Elgar was adjudged to be not out. When impartial provider Hawkeye predicted that the ball was going to go over the stumps. I've got 3 quotes for you, Ross. Your job is to attribute them to the 3 players who said them.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Whole country playing against 11 guys. Who said that, Ross?
Do I have like a choice of 3? Is it like...
All right, yeah, I'll give you the 3 players. You got King Legend, you got Kohli, you got Ashwin. They're the 3 quotes. You have to attribute them to the right person.
Okay. Well, can you give me all 3 quotes, and then I'll choose. I'll batch them.
Well, you've made this question substantially easier than it was designed to be, but that's your skills as a quizzer coming to the fore. Look and learn, Max. Whole country playing against 11 guys. That's quote number 1. Quote number 2, focus on your team as well when they shine the ball, not just the opposition, trying to catch people all the time. That's quote number 2. Quote number 3, you should find better ways to win, super sport. So
right,
quote number 1, whole country playing against 11 men, 11 guys.
I reckon the last, the whole country playing against 11 is KL Rahul.
Okay, he's got 1.
Second is... what was the second one? Sorry.
Focus on your team as well when they shine the ball, not just the opposition, trying to catch people all the time.
Yeah, that sounds like an Ashwin comment. And Virat Kohli number 3.
Well, you've only got 1 out of 3, but you have managed to spoil the answers for Max. So there's no steal opportunity. So
that's upsetting.
That was clever. It was King Legend with whole country against 11 guys. You should find better ways to win. Super sport was Ashwin. And focus on your team as well when they shine the ball, not just the opposition. Trying to catch people all the time was Kohli bent over the stump mic. India lost that series 2-1, and it looked for a while like South Africa were on course for some World Test Championship glory, but didn't pan out that way in the end. Question number 2, Max, for you. In New Zealand, Bangladesh were making waves as they picked up a historic win over the Kiwis away from home. Which bowler was the hero of the game?
Oh no, Ebadot Hussain.
Oh, he's got it. This could be the year of the Max. It was Ebadot Hussain. He picked up loads of wickets in the second innings, blew New Zealand away, and it was a pretty monumental win, wasn't it, Ross?
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I think Bangladesh then didn't go on to win, I think, the next 10 of their games this year, so something ridiculous.
They were on the beach. They've done their job.
Yeah, so it's such a strange
as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they're such a strange team. Such a strange.
Ross, for you, the 2021-22 Ashes procession was wrapping up around the same time as those 2 series. England were in disarray. They were in the middle of their 1 win in 17 run of fixtures. Which player did they draft in at the last minute? Hours before he was supposed to fly home from another competition to play in the final match in Hobart.
That is Kent skipper Sam Billings.
Oh, well done. I knew you'd get that one. It was Sam Billings. I think he was literally at the airport flying home after the BBL when they were like, we really need someone to come down here. Was it Joss Butler was injured? He went home after he did quite well to actually help save help save the whitewash in the match before. In that Hobart match, remember Crawley made that 70, and that was the only time in the entire series where England were ahead on the win predictor. That was amazing.
So
entire series.
Bring on the Ashes next year.
Max, for you, in the same series, a lot of credit has to go to the Aussies. They were the best at batting, the best at fielding, and mostly the best at bowling. But which bowler was the best of all, claiming the most wickets?
Oh. So who? I can't. So there were some injuries, weren't there? So they shifted things around a bit. Did it end up being Patty Cummins?
It did. He's managed to get there in the end. Pat Cummins in his first series as skipper managed to win the most bowling wickets and the Ashes.
Wow.
And that's how the story went.
It's actually glorious.
How close did Scott Boland come in the end? Did you?
I think he was above all the England bowlers.
Yeah.
Mark Wood I think Mark Wood picked up 17 wickets, and he was the most for England, and there were a few Aussies above. Lyon, I think Lyon was second, Cummins top, and Boland in third place. Ross, question for you. After that fiasco, England went to the West Indies, who just the other week were being questioned about whether there was any point in them playing Test cricket anymore. In other words, this was going to be an easy win. So easy, in fact, that Andrew Strauss decided to rest England's top 2 wicket takers of all time. Rest/drop. Anderson and Broad, obviously being the 2 they were left out for the Red Bull reset. In the series, England debuted 3 players. Who were they?
Max's questions are fucking. Oh, right. I don't bloody know. Saqib Mahmood.
Yeah, you've got Saqib Mahmood. That's good. That's one. It's one more bowler and one more batter.
Is this when Alex Lees started?
Yeah, that's number 2. You've got one more player.
And was it Fisher?
It was.
There
That's
you go.
Good
Not
answer
so
from
hard,
Ross
was
there.
it, Ross?
Yeah. He's still 3 points behind, but like that's
a strong form.
That's
I feel
one
like
of
I'm
the
on the
hardest
chase.
questions
That's
of the
what I feel
quiz.
like I'm on. I feel like I'm on the chase.
Yeah, well, that's good. Hopefully, the listeners at home are getting that vibe as well, and they're excited. We should. I mean, if we were good at production, Max, we'd have a scoreboard up, wouldn't we? And it would update so that people know.
Maybe next year.
Okay, well, it was worth an ask.
It was
worth an ask. Max, your question. Over in the Women's World Cup, also taking place in March earlier this year, Australia ran out as predictable winners. They beat England in the final, who had recovered after a slow start. The question is, Max, which batter top scored in the match with an epic 170 and also took home golden bat for most runs in the tournament with a total of 509?
Was it Talia McGrath?
Wasn't Talia McGrath. It was not Talia McGrath. It wasn't a bad guess. But the length of time it took you to get to that answer did give it away. That was a complete guess. Ross, you have a chance to steal here and close the gap. The chase is on. Do you know who it was?
I can't remember who won.
Australia.
Australia
just said
that
it
was
in
in
the
the
question.
question.
To be fair, I must admit, I've been looking for my Virat Kohli stat. Is it Beth Mooney?
It isn't Beth Mooney. It was Elisa Healy. 107 in the final, 509 across the tournament.
That is some going. That is fair. Well batted.
Yeah. Nat Siver also turned up in the final with 148, ran out of partners and had a pretty good year with stacks of runs all around the world. Yeah, Lisa Healy. So the score remains 8-5. Ross, your chance to get a little bit closer. Your second chance to get a little bit closer. With another very easy question. The tournament also saw the end of the road for Mitali Raj. Mitali Raj, one of, if not the greatest women's player of all time, calling it a day this year at the age of 40. The question is, Matt Ross, or is it Max? Ross?
Mm-hmm.
What year did she make her debut?
The age of 40. That's tough. I'm going to go 2001.
Not too bad. You were a couple of years out there, 1999 against Ireland. So if you'd gone back an extra decade, that means she played cricket in the 90s, the 2000s, the 10s, and the 20s. A 4-decade cricket legend.
Wow.
Lothar Matthäus.
Jari Litmanen.
Jari Litmanen, yeah.
That is an evil question. But for what it's worth, I'd have guessed 1999.
Oh well. You should have jumped in with the steal. Your problem is, Max, you're too quiet.
Yeah.
You need to make a steal noise. It's time to move on to the IPL. A reminder for people who are listening at home: it is 8-5 to Max. There's only one question on the IPL this year, but it's the ceremonial game of of not tenable. We don't own the rights to tenable. It's 11able.
Untenable. 11able. Oh, yes, very good.
It's 11able. How does 11able work, Max, as a person who appeared on the ITV version?
Well, dear listener, 11able works in this following way. Jack will ask us a question to which there are 11 answers, and Ross and I will take turns in naming a player, assuming it will be a player, that answers the question and fits in the top 11, and we will get a point for every correct answer, I assume. And I don't know what happens when do we get any lives? Do we keep going till they're gone and it just alternates?
Yeah, you get one life between you, and when we have, I don't know, two incorrect answers in a row, that means you got 2 lives in a way, doesn't it? I don't know. When you give up, you give up.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't make the show up, did I? You were on it. So the question
normally
is,
it's only one person that's participating though.
And we had a great time. 3 shows a week. Joss Butler had a season for the ages as well, smashing 4 centuries as his Rajasthan Royals fell at the final hurdle against New Boys, the Gujarat Titans, aka Ahmedabad Boys. He belted a colossal 45 sixes during the tournament, 11 more than second place. Can you name, between you, the next 11 players who hit the most sixes?
Who's going first, Max or I?
You can go first, Ross.
I'll go for my boy, King Legend.
Okay. King Legend. He was 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th on the list. So King Legend. That's the first one answered. Max, you'll go next.
Liam Livingston.
Liam Livingston. He was number 2 on the list with a total of 34 sixes. Ross, back to you.
Sanju Samson.
Of course, Sanju Samson was on there. He was number 5 with a total of 26 sixes. Max O'Brown.
Dre Russ is always up there.
Yeah, I mean, Andre Russell, he was number 3 on the list with 32 sixes. So you've got the top 5 between you. I mean, that's pretty sharp shooting there. There's no wild punts. You've just gone 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you didn't get 1 because I told you. I got 1.
Well done,
You've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Ross, back to you.
I'm going to say Dinesh Karthik.
Yeah, Dinesh Karthik is on there. I think he's down in 10th place with a total of 22 sixes.
Nice. Max. Killer Miller. He had a season to remember, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Killer Miller, he finished 7th on the list with 23 sixes. Ross.
It's where it gets difficult. Hardik. I'm going to go for Quinton de Kock.
Quinton de Kock. Ross, you mentioned his 140. Quite a few of the sixes did come in that 140. He hit 23 sixes in total. Back to Max. And this is where it gets difficult. We've had 8 of the top 12. So 7 of the 11 in this game of 11able. Feel free to talk a little bit, make it this podcast.
How about let's I'm trying to think finishers, right? Because that's where it generally comes in. We've had all the big openers. I think the one person who Nicholas Puran.
Nicholas Puran is a very good guess. He is one of the 2 players who finished at the bottom here with 21 sixes. So nice work there, Max. You have on the list the guy who finished joint bottom alongside him. So in 12th, I guess. I think you've got the 9th and the 8th most sixes in the IPL last season. So this is going to be a challenge. In fact, I think if you get these, you both win the quiz and I lose. Ross.
I'll say Rahul Chapati.
That's incorrect.
Oh.
And a life is lost. Max, back to you.
All right.
If you get this wrong, you're eliminated.
Okay. Who's
it's tense.
Shimon Hetmeyer.
Shimon Hetmeyer, obviously. And that's an extra point. So Max moves to 5 points here. He could extend his lead. Shimon Hetmeyer, 21 sixes. So, joint bottom of the quite good list of players that we've come up with here. 8th and 9th still to go. I'll give you a little clue here. Neither of these players played. No, hold on. I'm gonna take back that clue. Take back that clue. I'm going to take back that clue and I'm going to check the clue in case we need the clue later.
Right.
So I'm trying to think. We've not had who hit runs.
I'll bring the clue back because I've checked the clue and I was right. Neither of these players played for a team that made the playoffs.
Oh. So that's where my thinking went for Chapati. I'm going Delhi.
Yeah.
And it's a toss-up between Richard Pants and Rovman Powell. I'm going to say Rovman Powell.
That's a fantastic. That's a fantastic shout. Yeah, he narrowed it down to 2 players. I can give you a clue here, Max. Richard Pants, not
the other answer,
not the other one. So he's made a good. I mean, obviously there was that innings, wasn't there, where Powell was, what did he hit 5 sixes in an over or something like that, and nearly pulled off the impossible. One more player. And this is a real wild card. I did not expect to see him on this list.
Right.
Virat Kohli.
It is a local player.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's a local player and not making the playoffs.
I reckon you got to look a bit closer to home, Max, in CSK.
Well, I'm thinking that, but
wasn't Dhoni?
We were so bad.
Yeah, but how good was the Dion Dublin fan?
It wasn't the Doob. I'm not going to let you guess the
Doob. Okay, right. It could. I mean, I'm wondering if just because we're saying it's a wild card because they were also so bad. Was it Sky?
It wasn't Sky. Didn't make it.
That's a good guess.
Onto the list. Nitish Rana.
Oh, that is surprising, to be fair.
Nitish Rana. Yeah, not getting that in a million years.
We could have been guessing players for a little while, I think. He hit 22 sixes. So well done, boys. 5 points apiece. It takes a score to 13-10 in favour of Max. And we move on to the English summer. Max, you start off first in this section. The English summer rolled round, and there were a couple of new ringleaders in town. Stokes and McCullum have been given the big jobs, and with New Zealand, South Africa, and India on the agenda, it looked like it could be a pretty tricky start, especially considering, remember, England were 1 for 17 going into, or 1 win in 17 rather, going into this. But looks can be deceiving, can't they? Don't judge a book by its cover. They smashed New Zealand 3-0. They beat India. Then they came from behind to beat South Africa 2-1. The question is, Max, in the bazball era, can you name the batters with more than 50, who have scored more than 50 runs, that have a strike rate in excess of 100? So we're looking for batters, England batters, who have scored more than 50 runs with a strike rate in excess of 100. So that rules out Rehan Ahmed, who would have made the list.
Yeah. How many?
A little clue there. I'm not gonna tell you that.
Right.
Come on.
Stuart Broad.
No, he's already busted.
Okay.
Ross, your chance to steal here.
I thought that was a banker.
Harry Brook.
And that's incorrect as well. There are none.
Oh.
The answer is 0.
Oh.
There are 5 players in the 90s. Bairstow, Duckett, Brook, Jacks, and Wood.
I mean, it would have been pretty insane, but It's a nice trick one.
Yeah,
It was good. It was good. Like I said, looks can be deceiving. A clue. There was a clue in that question. Ross, England pulled off their record chase against India at Edgbaston as Bearstone Brute plundered their way to 378 for 3.
Insane.
Before India actually even reached the second new ball. I think it was 76 overs. That's nuts. The question is, how many runs did Stokes say after the game that he'd have liked to see England chase? 350, 400, 450, or 500?
I reckon 450.
He's got it. He's back in the game, Max. And you should be nervous here. Stokes said there was a little bit of me that almost wanted them to get 450 to see what we would do. They'd probably won. 300. They needed another 75, and that would have been pretty jokes. To be honest, that was a really incredible test match. Blue for Max. Tell me what was strange about Talia McGrath's appearance in the Commonwealth Games final.
She had COVID, so she had to stay away from everyone.
Nice word, Max. Picks up a cheeky point there.
Have you not done? When did she make her first class debut?
It was obviously 2014.
All right, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Your question, and this one is pretty easy. Who won the 100? Both editions.
I was at the final. Yeah. Southern. It wasn't Southern. Southern Brave definitely didn't win it for the Meds. That's all I can remember.
Okay.
I remember sitting there. So
how many ciders did you have?
Clearly wasn't too many.
Yeah, enough to induce memory loss.
Right. Who was it? Southern for the women. So for the women.
Yeah.
Oval Invincibles, I think, won it.
Okay. So yeah, no, that is correct. That's one.
Damn it.
Now you've got that was the one that Max thought he could steal on, obviously.
Yeah.
And for the men,
Samit Patel took loads of wickets, but did Trent end up losing? No, Luke was really good. No, Trent Rockets.
He's correct.
He's got there.
That would have been a shambles. I literally was like, I was at 15 rows in the grandstand at Lords.
That would have been a Maxwell Brown level of shambles, but I'm disappointed.
So after the English summer, it is 14-12 to Max.
This is what we want. This is a bit of competitive quizzing, unlike the previous years.
Yeah, I am sorry.
Max was going to get an extra question here, but he doesn't because he answered it already. So he doesn't even get a point. That's cricket. Cricket's unfair.
What was the
Who
question?
made Charlie Dean cry and why?
Oh, never mind.
You go. There might be chances.
Well, I got the bonus point in the description thing for the last one, so that's fine.
Sure.
We'll call that fair. Fair's fair.
Kind of balances out. T20 World Cup time. I enjoyed it. T20 World Cup was a banger.
It was really,
loads
really
of upsets, quite a few sixes, a lot of rain. England were the best. Sky was, the best as well. And there was some more rain. My first question on the subject in the India, comes from the India v Pakistan Classic, as for you, Ross, where Kohli was pretty good. As mentioned earlier in the show. The question is, what did Ashwin do that took everyone's breath away?
He did he retire himself?
That isn't what he did. No. And Max has got a chance to steal. He did do that in the IPL.
Yeah, there we go then.
This is difficult because I was in America for 2 weeks, so didn't see a whole lot of the games. What did Ashwin do? Is there a clue? Is there a clue in the way you phrased that?
It was an iconic moment. Not as iconic as the 6 that Cody hit,
Yeah.
but memorable.
Oh, I do. I remember it now. Bollocks.
Ran himself out.
No,
He didn't write himself out. What was it, Ross?
did he leave the ball for a wide?
He did. He left the ball for a wide, and it went just down the leg side, just missed his pad. And I think he said something like afterwards on his podcast, if that had like flicked my pad, I think I'd have retired from cricket and moved countries. So it stays at 14-12. Next question for you, Max. Which batters broke the record for the highest partnership in a T20 World Cup match? I mean, Ross, this is your real chance to close the gap this round because Max hasn't got a single answer.
It's got to be Butler and Hales, isn't it?
Oh, he's managed to get that one though. Ross, your question.
I was back by that point.
Which other batters also did this?
Was it Hardik Pandya and Virat Kohli?
It wasn't Hardik Pandya and Virat Kohli.
Max,
your chance to steal. You're never going to get this one. You were out of the country, and it was in a really not a big game.
Yeah. Sikandar Raza and someone else.
No, it wasn't. It was Riley Russo and Quinton de Kock against Bangladesh. Yeah, it was a big partnership. Max, can you extend your lead? You're 15-12 ahead into the sort of territory that Ross is going to find it very difficult to get back from. Zimbabwe were one of the teams to pull off a major upset. Inspired, as it turned out, by their desire for revenge. Why did they want to take revenge over Pakistan?
The Pac Bean.
Yeah. Yes. The return of Pac Bean. Love to see it.
That's good. Ross, your chance for a point. What is Pac Bean?
He's a fake Mr. Bean. So there's an English comedian called Rowan Atkinson who has a character called Mr. Bean, and he was supposed to. I think it was like an agricultural festival or something like that, where they thought they'd booked Mr. Bean, and actually this Pakistani impersonator turned up.
Oh, so you get a point for that. Max, your question: which 2 players hit centuries at the World Cup? Oh, he doesn't know. He's looking around for answers.
Josh Butler.
No, denied. And Ross, your chance to steal. 2 players hit centuries.
2 players?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was one of Quinton de Kock or Riley Russo. So Riley Russo and Glenn Phillips.
Nice work, Ross.
Oh, yeah.
That means it is 14-16, and Ross is sort of back in this. Final question for you, Ross. In this round, there was one hat-trick at the T20 World Cup. Who took it?
Curtis Camphor.
No.
He took the 4 wickets in the previous one.
Yeah. Do you know, Max?
Do I know? Do I know?
No. Doesn't seem like
not immediately. No. Hasaranga.
It was a leg spinner.
I knew it was a leg spinner.
Kartik Mayapan, in one of the earlier matches in the tournament, picked up a hat trick. So well done to him. Scores at the end of that round.
Everything in my brain is just merging into one big cricket event.
You did really well on the IPL questions, boys. It has to be said, and it's been mixed success, but largely quite good overall. Since then, it's 14-16. There are 2 rounds left. 1, records and numbers, and then 2 later in the year.
All right.
Records and numbers is what we'll start with. And Ross, you are going first. What did Sam Northeast do?
He hit the highest first-class score other than Brian Lara. What was it?
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. He got 410.
Yeah.
That is correct. That's worth a point. For Glamorgan. Then the team declared, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Why have they declared?" And then Glamorgan won right at the end of the game. So, from the point of view of winning, it was good. They didn't get promoted though, and it is a shame that we will not find out whether Sam Northeast could have beaten Brian Lara. A player, I think most would agree, equally talented. Max, question for you. What does the number 1020 mean in cricketing terms? That's again, what is the number?
The number of runs
1020
Joe Root scored in a calendar year.
No, that's not correct. I mean, he does get into the thousands, but that isn't the answer I was looking for. Ross.
1020. Can you say the question again? Is there something in the question?
What does the number 1020 mean in cricketing terms? Why is it significant?
Is it the number of matches a country's played?
No.
Is it the highest individual innings score ever?
You can have another guess if you want. No, that's wrong as well, Max.
No.
This is very obscure. And it happened this year.
Yeah, it's a big event. It was the number of days between Virat Kohli centuries.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Finally.
Nicely done.
Brilliant.
Very
good.
The whatever it was, the block.
And, very good.
Notch one against Afghanistan. He's gone to score another one, hasn't he? Against Bangladesh. Ross, are you red or are you blue?
Red.
I think you're red, yeah. Sydney Thunder broke the record for the worst T20 team score in this season's BBL. What did they score?
It was 15.
They got 15. That's correct. Yeah, they were bowled out for 15 runs. I think at one point they were like 9 for 10 or 10 for 9, and then they hit a 4.
Yeah, the number 10 high scored, didn't it? Was 4.
Yeah, I think that is correct. Nice one, Ross. That means it's 16 all.
Oh,
the chaser has caught up I don't know, what are you? Max?
The contestant.
The contestant. Okay.
Challenger.
Yeah, my sister went on the chase.
Did she do well?
She win?
No.
How do your family get on all these quiz shows?
Don't know. Something
Has your
about
dad
us.
been on one? I bet your dad would win.
No. Just me and my sister.
This is a really easy one, Max. Stuart Broad broke the record for the most runs conceded in a test over. How many?
35.
Yes. Now he's ahead again.
Thanks, Ross.
What?
He said it earlier.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ross, your question. Which English women's bowler broke the record for the most wickets in a calendar year?
English women's bowler.
Yeah. Spin bowler.
Sophie Eccleston.
Yeah, that is correct. 56 wickets. Broke it just before the end of the year and didn't take any wickets in the final match of 2022. So
didn't need to. Why bother?
56, but yeah, exactly. On the beach. Max, over to you. England broke the record for the most runs scored in a men's ODI. How many did they score?
498.
Oh, good work. He's good with numbers, Ross. He's good. If you get through this one, I think you've got a chance to win, Ross. Final question of numbers for you. England broke the record for most runs scored on the first day of a test. How many did they score?
510.
No. Max, your chance to steal.
I think it's very close to that. I think it's like 506.
It is 506.
How did you pull that out of the bag? Scenes.
Max, this is a huge question. How many consecutive matches have England taken all 20 wickets?
10?
It is 10.
Well done, Max.
That means at the end of that round, it is 17-20 in favour of Max, with just a couple to go. But one, I'm going to make worth multiple points. So we've got 2 questions to go. They're both about things that happened later in the year. Max, you can go first. This one is not worth multiple points.
Okay.
The IPL auction just wrapped up. Players were going for loads of money. It was a lot of fun, and we did 2 shows about it, and we're planning another. But what was the name of the auctioneer?
Richard Madeley.
No, that's the old.
That's the
auctioneer.
old one.
It
Yeah,
was the
I
Ross.
don't know.
Hugh
You know-
Edmeades.
He's got that. How did you know that?
Know that. Literally, he's an absolutely hilarious bloke.
This question is worth 2 points, Ross. If you get this, it will be 20 all, and we will go to the tiebreaker. Very late in this year, against Bangladesh, Ishan Kishan became the 4th Indian batter to make a double century in an ODI. Can you name the other 3?
Virinder Sehwag,
Yeah, that's 1.
Rohit Sharma,
Yeah, that's 2.
and Virat's got to have one. Virat Kohli.
Oh, I can't believe it. He's missed out on the final one. Max, you have a chance to steal.
Yuvraj?
How have you not got that, boys? That is shameful. Are you trolling our listenership?
Sachin Tendulkar.
Of course it's Sachin Tendulkar. So Ross gets in there and he does get the bonus point, and that means it is 20 all. Max, you've let it slip.
He got 2? Oh, right. Okay. Because
he got Sachin Tendulkar.
He got it in the end. Right.
The re-steal.
The re-steal. Okay.
The rarely seen re-steal.
It's very unusual, but here we are. It works for the narrative of the quiz.
That means we head to the tie break.
Who was the 4th?
The Ishan Kishan.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, there were 3 other players. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know any of them? Not for points.
3 other players. What? Non-Indian?
Yeah, non-Indian. Yeah. There aren't 3 other Indians that have done it.
Babar Azam must have done it.
No. Babar Azam not going to get a double century, is he?
Not quick enough.
Martin Guptill.
Martin Guptill's one. That's a good shout, Ross.
Nice.
2 others.
Inzi?
No, one is Pakistan. Fakhar Zaman did it the other
really?
year, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that was pretty impressive. And,
Got to be an Aussie.
No, Chris Gale.
Chris Gale.
Yeah. So
Cool. Elite
there
company.
you go. The tie-break question. We've mentioned him a few times on this show. Surya Kumar Yadav is currently the top T20 batter in the world, according to the ICC.
In the world.
But how many ranking points does he have? Ross, you have to go first here, and then Max gets the chance to...
Can you tell us what
Potentially
fifth place has?
No.
Because I don't know if it's like
Absolutely
10,000 or it's like 100.
Absolutely not. No, that's why it's a tiebreaker. If I told you like what the
Um,
ballpark was, it wouldn't be good, would it?
No, all right. I'm going to go for 1,100.
1,100. It's a nice round number. Max, 1,100 is the score that Ross has thrown out. It's effectively a question of higher or lower, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. It's not an easy one either.
50-50, Max. Come on.
Yeah.
Top T20 batter, according to the ICC, Surya Kumar Yadav. How many ranking points?
1,099.
Max, I'm happy to say that you have broken your duck for Christmas cricket quizzes.
Hold on, Max.
You have won the tiebreaker to take victory, 21 to 20 points. The correct answer was 890, so a little bit lower
Okay.
than your 2 guesses. But you weren't miles away as well, and nobody really knows how those points work. So
They're made up.
Tough one.
Max.
Congratulations, Max. How are you going to celebrate your victory?
Thank you, Ross. Oh, I'm going to probably drink everything in the house. It means that much to me.
Cool. And Ross, how are you going to celebrate your defeat?
It's nice to have a bit of competition. That's the that's the bit. So
It's nice to provide it.
There were some great moments. I do feel like I got the harder set of questions, and I appreciate that. That's the way it should be. The challengers should have it a little bit easier. So well done, Max.
Okay.
So you'll get them easier next time, and we'll be back to normal.
I mean, there was nothing controversial about the way that you got to the tiebreaker either, I didn't think.
No.
So everything's fair. Well done, both.
That's a good year of cricket, isn't it? Well done. Well done, cricket.
There'll be plenty more. Upcoming shows for us. We're going to talk to Dan about the IPL. We will be covering other cricket that's going on. England are off to South Africa, aren't they? And we'll probably be gearing up, I suppose, towards the next edition of the IPL a little bit later in the year. Stick with us, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave us a comment, follow us on Twitter at the Cricket Pod. Goodbye and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.